You sat down and you attacked the master teacher because you thought you heard something that you didn't hear. That's the first violation. You don't come in. First of all, you come in and you act like you come in peace, but you don't. You got an agenda.
Moors of men upright, independent and fearless. Dogmatized, dirty Moors, tongues cut out, left earless, cause they never listen. Dirty Moors, keep up your slander. Wu-Tang torture in your ass, hot hangers. Kidnappers, dirty Moor, torture him like Saw. 3D, 0.5 or 1 through 4. Or get it like 5 or 6 with a fez on jigsaw. Leather face in a turban, rip dirty Moors lips off. Disrespecting the mother Ras Mariah Bay. Wrap him up like double crochet, the barbed wire way. Throw him off a bridge or feed him to the piranhas. Yellow journalists more spread nothing but propaganda. Idi Amin Bey, treat the temple like Uganda. Dirty Moors like foreigners, crush the dust like ganja. Not worthy of being Moors, we call them dirty Nehesus. Solomon Seal spell command 72 demons to get you.
This is what the temple guys actually said. That Canaanland is not a part of North America. Canaanland is bigger. Yo, it's ignorant, man. I mean, come on, you're talking about the same landmass. Canaanland is actually bigger than the landmass they know is the corporate United States. Almost twice as big. And if they had any sense, they can just go to Google and they can type in North America and find out North America goes all the way up to green. But they're ignorant. They don't want to do that. They just dealing off emotion.
You might hear hoarse voices, see frog faces, and hoops with feet. Demons we run with, spit fire with gold wolf teeth. Keep playing. Forget back teeth. New Moors are an issue. Get Ginsu. Maybe a dream visit from Vishnu. A nightmare to never end and always continue. Cold as an igloo. Dealing with my trust issues through vigilance. Active Moors are militants. SPLC dirty Moors call that sovereign citizen. Lions reviews. They notice all the empty pews. Benz need gas and fixing, but not enough dues. Pigpen Bays sell you out for peanuts, claiming that we nuts for teaching birthright street level, keeping it beating us.
To any members of the MSTA that's out there listening to what I'm saying, please get it through your head. I don't have a problem with the MSTA. I got issues with
Kendrick Lamar, stay surrounded by feathers. Dirty's guilty of fraud if dually scrutinize their ledgers. Getting proclamations from Morocco, disrespect us. Corporate city only recognize people's court jesters. Hand in their back, Moorish puppets and minions. Never get the human rights recognition like Moors near Virginia. Commonwealth, for active Moors, knowledge the Commonwealth. Dirty's claim more, but really on the straw man help. Authenticating a birth certificate, that's not significant. Civil little more two status syndicates. In more face, watch them two more status Indians claiming Turtle Island are lying so intricate.
long days and long nights. But this message needed to be heard.
The rhyme making no sense to make dollars and holler. On our grounds, rounds leave Moors dead in parlors. So-called blacks call them cracker, then get called Canadian and shun Moors that say they're not Canadian. This world is full of crazy men with no knowledge of self, but got the most expensive cars and flat screens on the wall shelf. Going all the way to try to help you change what you won't. And I hardly hear your opinion of Marcus Garvey, but Steve Harvey stands out, true, cool, and jester, making a fool of you and himself for wealth. To me, those sellouts need to get bodied or exiled to Dr. Moreau's island with Gentiles and reptiles. Fake slave ships stacking bodies and piles, giving fake Jews slave respect, not giving me smiles, calling children kids, chasing after Taji guys, supremacy, use albino and half-breed spies. We catch trespassers with razors and mesh, pedophile torture, scotch bonnet in open flesh. Traitors get the shitty end of the stick. Our leaders murderers should have been crushed with pyramid bricks. Huey Newton and Hampton killers should be in front of a squad shooting by any means necessary. Get out the beast belly. Why y'all get mad glory and your flow's mad corny? Your skin tight jeans put you in trash category. Most rappers' names on lists for rhyme pad or glory. Making me comments mad derogatory. Why y'all get mad glory and your flow's mad corny? Your skin tight jeans put you in trash category. Most rappers' names on lists for rhyme pad or glory. Making me comments mad derogatory. About balance, my art the beam. Sellouts made it mainstream. Underground is almost unseen. Gay A&R signed the rappers' contracts in blood. Took his soul. Body didn't fall with a thud. He's a zombie, dyed hair, dress wearing thug. Burn that garbage, too much to sweep under the rug. Police can't collar a crime without snitches. You're lucky to escape the custody, not dead with just stitches. Make you hit your hair, take Hindus to Ganesha possess ya. And raising your blood pressure. Anything to do with Moors, they don't want you near. Don't search where it's black, you won't find it there. No matter how much you beg, they won't tell you where. No matter how much you don't have, they won't tell you here. Negroes weren't the first slaves, no reparations first. While you wait for your reparations, it looks like a hearse. They won't pay you reparations anyway. Only if you agree to make yourself black and gay. Instead of towards Moors, they want you to stray. Won't find your mind when it's in disarray. Thinking being European is the only way. Hurling insults at your creator. She will get you later. Why y'all get mad glory and your flow's mad corny? Your skin tight jeans put you into F category. Most rappers' names on lists for rhyme pad or lorry. Making me comments mad derogatory. Why y'all get mad glory and your flow's mad corny? Your skin tight jeans put you into F category. Most rappers' names on lists for rhyme pad or lorry. Making me comments mad derogatory. What's the reason for the treason is the question and the lesson. I hear most professing, but really possessing. Taking minds messing with thought patterns and pathways. Nero wanna be a hero when they really cipher, not Neo, not Morpheus or Gillen finding Nemo. Selling out with no remorse, you and yours. Calling you black, showing you who's the boss. Always marching, but never thought sue the police force or do like Haitians. Add some voodoo, of course. You might hurt them unexpected. It could be bloody. Feel your cells curl and your hair stand from walking duppies. Looked, all of a sudden, judge yelled and wept. In court, judge with cold sweats and throat strap. He can't talk yet, cause the candle was lit before I left. Forget Africa, hip hop was the grand theft. Why y'all get mad glory and your flow's mad corny? Your skin tight jeans put you into F category. Most rappers' names on lists for rhyme pad or lorry. Making me comments mad derogatory. Why y'all get mad glory and your flow's mad corny? Your skin tight jeans put you in F category. Most rappers' names on lists for rhyme pad or lorry. Making me comments mad derogatory.
And I know what time it is.
Yo, me too, bro. Yeah. Iron. Shit. Morris Master MC. Hey, yo. What up? What up? You already know. Audio mechanics, what up? Yo, no need for a swatch watch. I read the time in the signs like prophets and seers. Put a hex on the beers. Put some wicker on Leopold and Mussolini offspring. To the ancestors, to their blood as my offering. Oshuno Lacunia, may I show me reflections in water like balls of crystal. Walls with Venus missiles. Sun gaze and sea gods peeping from behind. I'm learning to love instead of hate and be kind, cause yes, I know. I'm thinking it's time for the wake up. Good morning as I'm yawning. Check my phone, it's only 2 a.m. Thoughts bubble like a cauldron. Feeling the tonin drip from my pineal gland. Activating my mitochondrial DNA strands. Stimulating my chakras like a camera captures. I did foresee the rapture. Stones falling in Turkey like rain from the sky. My farmer shoveling thousands of bees that died. From radioactive waves from cell phone towers. As niggas babble and debate falsehoods for hours. No PhD, but they call themselves doctors. We're living in the time of false prophets. When we hear them speak, got the feeling awkward. It's like they speak a language I don't understand or talk with. Their tongue fork like utensils, and they stay playing with your mental.
I know what time it is.
I'm a fantasy, I'm living in reality.
Can't fantasy, I'm living in reality.
I'm a fantasy, I'm living in reality.
Your fantasy, I'm living in reality.
Yeah.
Fantasy, I'm living in reality.
My reality, my reality, my reality. My reality includes no illusion. Facts to a Negro's head gives a contusion. Looking from the marvelous light, I know confusion. Has you in a fantasy thinking more's a losing. Even though Princess Michael wears Moorish brooches, not told you what the problem is. Niggas are roaches, still thinking like the colonists and lacking competence. If he didn't diss the birthright, a black psychologist wouldn't be getting put through the ringer over a license. If you don't do anything else for your more, it's priceless. So don't get played buying mortgage papers and cards without first studying. Be a man vanguard. Wake up, stop taking credit from your master's cards. They in debt. I bet the lower self you a bet. Higher self you abandon. Left notwithstanding. You keep constricting and keep not expanding. Still caught up in debates with the back and forth who you know are still liars, not speaking the truth. Pay for dirty Morse classes, won't study with us. That's blood and shark waters, good luck. You warned, we scorned for strangling feelings, maiming emotions. Reality check, see demons. Salivating, tasting your aura, lust in your passions. Go in meditations, body does devilish actions. Get back to your body, people watching you funny. Wearing skinny jeans with rips grown crisscross dummy and civil little more tooth. They sell you out claiming professor. Index you on the list for the oppressor. But you are an heir, true successor. Drew Alia's fought Muhammad's predecessor. Turban with the sun, this and out of feather. High treason is from the gallows hang together. Silent cowards down to their roots, with no courage or strength to stand for the truth. Challenge corruption, volcanic eruption from youth. Awaken memory banks, reconnecting with Ruth. Not terrified of the birthright. Not terrified of the birthright. Not terrified of the birthright. Know thyself, thoughts, scare and hurt, fright.
Up fantasy, I'm living in reality.
Your fantasy, I'm living in reality.
Up fantasy, I'm living in reality.
Your fantasy, I'm living in reality.
Up fantasy, I'm living in reality.
Your fantasy, I'm living in reality.
Up fantasy, I'm living in reality.
Your fantasy, I'm living in reality.
Up fantasy,
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 Your fantasy, I'm living in reality. Yeah. Your fantasy, I'm living in reality. Your fantasy, I'm living in reality.
I'm wrecking crew. Even when I'm by myself, I'm man them. Even when I'm by myself, I'm hench. Even when I'm by myself, I'm Moorish American. Even when I'm by myself. Hang that ass up like a Selassie poster. You don't rep boot camp before you know it's Eskoshka. Smith and Wesson to us the best duo to do it. Let me hear some boy burial, I might lose it. I rep Tekken still with Gummer. We so biased, far from the shyest. God and I stayed the flyers. We were like PNC, committed no crimes, no times, not guilty with Scoob and Filthy. Taken down by task force, red dots on hands like celebrations for Hindus handle man. Gummer might sip, but never draw on the spliff. Handle his own, won't leech like Ansel Smith and his witch bitch. I swing the anvil fist or call cross tracks, youth, your ass gets kicked. Back up Gummer when he's cussing out a sketty. I'm the man you never seen that he call McCletchy. Don't have to ask if I'm ready, I'm born ready. Able and willing, spark up and catch a meddy. When me and Gummer park, combination deadly. Told me if he gets married, we'll ride off in a Bentley. And when sickle cell takes me, get my Gummer tap. Throw rum shots back to some boot camp tracks. Was never on the wrong side of the tracks like artifacts. Saw friends fight and undercovers plant crack. Undercover smoke cracking pipes at night. Turn custies pushing grocery car buggies at night. We grew up in the era. You didn't shoot but fight. Hidden spikes and raised Tim's cut right. Butterfly blade in the waistband tucked tight. Now I'm protected by obsidian and shungite. Rock salt lamps, argon muffins and diodes to jam radar trap squatters on side roads. Aquarian age wipe out clones like typos. Wipe out $1-million homes with cyclones. Stepping up the assault with spy stones. Or push a button detonating some pipe phones. Tires flying off trailers, killing the mother. The death of her only son is killing the mother. Can't find a void, watch the pictures on Androids. Thinking back to sleepovers, making too much noise. Tears trickle when they reminisce like Troy. We didn't dance for fame like Elroy. We boys, I know your spirit's not gone, you're still here. In the illest spiritual gear that's shown. EAN, not HAWN. Many haven't forgotten, still loving you, friend. Front row rhyming with steel, performing night riders. You know where we stood, see backwards over lighters. No bombs or pipers, they waste too much trees. I had the cushion paying link, never too much seeds. Skunk in the air, don't waste your Febreze. Moorish master MC, past rapping degrees. Too sick to catch the commercial rapper disease. Spit when I flow without having to sneeze. I'm a wordsmith, letterman, dropping Q's and P's. Facebook punks won't get me crossed like T's, oh please. A lot of so-called conscious are coons. So spiritual but running out to see eclipse of moons. In this illusion reality, trying to bend spoons. To read conscious sisters' palms, they wanna rent rooms. Cause I call them a nigga, they wanna send goons. Grand Mufti touch, mush their face like shrooms. I'm wrecking crew. Even when I'm by myself, I'm man them. Even when I'm by myself, I'm hench. Even when I'm by myself, I'm Moorish American. Even when I'm by myself, I'm wrecking crew. Even when I'm by myself, I'm man them. Even when I'm by myself, I'm hench. Even when I'm by myself, I'm Moorish American. Even when I'm by myself. Islam Moors. I freaking forgot something. Peace Moors. Islam. That's willofalah.com. Iron Sheik 7. And before that was the free mix CD on willofalah.com. Memory Lane. The verse on the Strang beat. So class happened today. Whether it's phone calls or whatever, it's been crazy right now. Every day, all day, it's crazy. Because it's very obvious that people are starting to wake up to this nationality and birthrights, and they're not playing around with these club games these guys want to play under the name of Noble Drew Ali. There's a club thing going on right now. Been going on. Dummies just don't see that that's what's going on right in their face. They're talking about people who have titles, they mean something. Show me their works that they're doing. Show me some people they stopped from committing suicide. Show me some young sisters that they mentored or whatever. Because her dad's a deadbeat. Don't tell me about all this stuff you guys are doing in your club. Your little fraternity, sorority, organization, temple, whatever you want to call it. Don't talk about that. Because messed up. That exactly. That right again, go back right in tune with everything that would. Nothing's planned here. Sis just said when she first came into this knowledge, she was so hungry she paid mad fiat to get something and didn't get anything. Got nothing. Got nothing. So we have to go back because people forgot the basic stuff. Forgot the basics. Caught up in some club people stuff. So we're gonna read from Addressing the Misunderstandings of Purpose Concerning Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali, Noble Drew Ali, the Moorish Divine and National Movement. Excerpt from Solar Return Celebration Address, January 1984, by Taj Tariq Bey, with editorial ancillaries included from earlier and later Moore's Order of the Round Table, orientation, law, history, and culture classes. Some active negative intent strategies. 1. Any and all attempts made by some at neutralizing the Prophet Noble Drew Ali by way of suppressing the exposure of his pleas, messages, oral statements, and literature in general, as these were all directed to all loyal, faithful Moors and made universally to the people at large. Right? And then another Moor just came in. Same for me. I paid mad fiat for this. Got nothing. Part because, yeah, they were incompetent. There's only a dumbass going to pay for their birthright. But the guy who's selling it, who we know for a fact got it for free. Watch these people. Watch them. You know why? Because they're the real enemy. And all the work that they're doing to make, because the confusion is people thinking, is this religious or is this subnational or whatever? Which translates in adept teachings to passive and active. So that's the division that you see amongst Moors. Because we're all Moors. No denying that. But once you can look at the higher self and not see the lower self reflecting, you know that you have to keep on the path of the higher self. It's only odd. It's just natural. Why would you go against the higher powers? Under the claim of higher powers, but you must be feeding something else, putting all this energy into trying to stop this. That certain Moorish Science Temple of America people have the audacity to say they're Moorish Science Temple of America. They're ahead of that. And they're so dirty that they thought that they're going to come here and then us not know that you're coming here. Like, why wouldn't you be putting flyers out and stuff like that about that? Welcome, you're keeping secrets that you're going to be in Canaanland. Like, there's Moors who I never knew that when they came to Canaanland, they called up the temple. Yo, I'm in town for 2 days or whatever. Call me back, number. Call back some more. Just out here. Hey man, just was in Toronto and just wanted to shout out the Grand Sheik. How many Moors? And now you have a top dog in the Moorish Science Temple of America doing a lecture out here, and they never even called the temple out here. You never even called the temple out here. Everywhere that I went to the lecture, we made sure we told those temples where we went to. Philly, Louisiana, Florida. Look, even when we went to Florida, Brother Diallo Sekou drove freaking hours. The Moors right there where we're doing the stuff they're not reaching. You know who's active out here and who's passive. Passive people play the game. Passive people play the game. Right? Instead of, you know what I mean, using the higher mind, they use the lower mind. Now they could use the higher mind, right? Keep in mind, the people who are bringing this supreme grand whoever to Toronto to do a lecture, keep in mind that they're from our temple that left because, oh, we're dealing with, you know what I mean, our stuff's not right. We're not doing stuff properly. We know where the funds are going. What's going on with this? What's going on with that? So they said, fine, we're leaving. And they left. They left to the point where they wanted their membership forms back. That's how they left, to the point of they don't want anything to do with Canaanland. Now, when you have this thing called division, you have two sides. Either one side's going to win or lose. Either one side's good or evil. Either one side's whatever. Right? This is just how it goes. Now, when we trace these two, they come from the same source. Now, at the source, there's favoritism for a particular side from the source. And then that's why there's the hatred, which creates the division. Because of just what Noble Juali said, jealousy because of fame and nobility. That they had a temple, how much ever years? They have a temple so many years. We've been out here so many years, and they never once tried to come here to do a lecture. Now you got some Moors who wanted to be head people, because the same people that left, one of them now says that their name's Ali all of a sudden, when they used to be Bey. So now they're Ali, and now they're going to the supreme whoever of the Moorish whatever, and they're bringing him here to do a lecture. And they think that because they're doing it through some black connections or whatever, that the Moors aren't going to know what's up. Why wouldn't the Moors know what's up? We made out here. Are you guys dumb? There would be nothing called Moors being connected to the jurisdiction, quote unquote, called Canada, if it wasn't for what Canaanland Moors, Moor Science Temple of America, Temple number 5, has been doing since '08. No one. That's why anybody who has any type of honor and loyalty to Noble Drew Ali, they make sure they come check this temple when they come here. Why? Because Noble Drew Ali laid down the edict in his own paper that he's trying to set up stuff here. Now that it's set up, now it's set up here. Now people are, oh, well, now people got issues. Now they want to do lectures out here all of a sudden. Never once said, yo, let's bring them out to do a lecture. Never. And it ain't like you just have to call Canaanland. We got vegan chefs. We got herbologists. We got astrologists. We got Wiccan witches. Whatever you want, we could provide it. It's not like somebody's out here not doing the work, but they're not going to represent for Noble Drew Ali. Forget us. We're just repping what Noble Drew Ali said to rep. You know, who are they really disrespecting? When they go against the foundation, Noble Drew Ali himself said that he's going to set up temples here. You think it's us setting this up? You're a goddamn fool. Keep playing. There's people outside of this jurisdiction that are members of this temple, and they're not members on some club BS. I'll tell you that if you want to talk about membership in the Moral Science Temple or whatever. We got stacks of membership forms to show. What do you think? This is an illusion? This is not an illusion. We're on the side of the source that gave favorable blessings. Can't you see that in your face? You have to see that in your face. You cannot be in denial of what's going on. You cannot be in that. Check how big the spread is for the active versus the passive. Just go on the pro line, check the spread. These people are making a mockery of what's supposed to be divine and national. Remember, we only read one of the strategies. We didn't even talk about anything yet. And again, we're taking this back 84 to show you that they're still doing the same BS. Why are they still doing the same BS? Because you're dumbass. Talking about there's some division. Ain't no division. You're passive. That's why. And active doesn't mean go to some court and drive without plates and whatever. That's not that doesn't mean active. Why are they presenting the truth? Why are they trying to neutralize? Because remember, this Supreme Grand Whoever of Moral Science Temple of America doing lecture in Canaanland, that's trying to neutralize Canaanland. Are you really digest what's going on right now? Like the question I have to ask is, who is attempting to neutralize really? Who is really the one attempting it? Because it's definitely not the people who came from our temple that said they're going to now call themselves Ali all of a sudden. And now they're riding with the big dogs now because, you know, Grand Sheik Kudro, he's not really a Grand Sheik really because, you know, he never showed us any papers. That's how you know they're doing the club BS. Cause I got my sheikdom certificate. I went through the halls of learning. I got my scroll. So if you want to play title BS, it's not a fluke. It's not happenstance. The Moors said when we went to Mecca, which you know would have been our pilgrimage to Mecca. And the Moors told us directly that we know that this is not some weekend whatever. We know that this is not some weekend thing. But this has to be done because this has never happened in the history of Moorish Science Temple of America, based on their research in Moorish Science Temple of America. The only reference point to Canada was when Noble Drew Ali made reference to Toronto and Madame Bruton and Oscar Bruton. That was the only time. And nobody heard anything about until these Moors from Toronto go to Mecca, to a Moorish Science Temple of America that has the article. That they're looking at the article, mouth open, jaw on the floor. Because they have the article right here. They pull out the article. And then they're like, Moorish Science Temple of America is not gonna like this. Because at that time, they were calling everybody an sellout. And there was select few, one handful with fingers left over, select few Moors that had a sign up that said Moorish Science Temple of America were doing what was supposed to be done. Select few. And these Moors lost it. Like, yo, these Moors are not going to like you. These Moors are going to do everything to try to whatever, but just always remember the article. This is them talking. Always remember, they could never take anything from you because of the article. That all these Grand Sheiks and Supreme Grand Sheiks, Grand Governors, and they listed off all the head whatevers, right? That they know about the article. So you being in Toronto saying that you're Moorish Science Temple of America, but they didn't give you authority, makes them look like clowns. Because they should have been sent somebody up here to find somebody to take that position. up here. Now that Canaanland Moor has been running for 8 years, now they want to come up here about they're the supreme grand sheik of some Moor science temple and try to siphon off what work we've been doing without giving us honors for the work that we put in here as Moor science temple. Should have been got the call, because I know all you people got my number. No one, but you're going to sneakily come up here, try to do some lecture. Because you're doing it with some black guys, and you think that it's not going to get back. Oh, half those black guys are Moors. They're just Moriscos. Because I put them on to freaking knowledge itself already. And they know that they're El Bay or whatever. You're not going to tell you that. But lots of them, they're nationalized Moors. It's not there yet. So they do whatever they do, whatever. You know what I mean? When they deal with me, it's Islam and all that. They're not playing all that black BS when they're with the Grand Sheik. Even if it's with the Grand Sheik, without the title, without the fez, chilling on the culture, whatever. Watch these people. 2, the artificially injected divisions and schisms among Moorish Americans that became apparent during the sellout period and that are still presently existing among some Moorish holy temples of science, Moorish science temples of America, etc., and within other areas of the Moorish divine and national movement, and within some branch institutions. Artificially injected divisions and schisms. Artificially injected. So that means somebody had to be holding the syringe to inject. It's not injecting itself. You already know Hoover and the crew had their minions that they were going to use. And then they just step away, and then the minions control doing the injecting from that point. Because they're pretty much they're in leadership, so they can't leave now. So they just have to double agent for 80 years. Just go read the FBI papers. And remember, during the sellout period, so what we're dealing with is the extended time of something that has never got dealt with. Because you're expecting the people who sold you out to deal with the sellout. You're waiting for the people who sold you out to step up and say, oh yeah, Supreme Grand Sheik, now I'm here to do a lecture. I got invited by my Moors right here, you know, Brother Ali and whoever else. And we're here as the real Moor Science Temple because, you know, anytime you heard of Moor Science Temple before this, it wasn't the official Moor Science Temple, and they're going to play their little BS. When they never had anything to say for 8 years, all of a sudden, you got a problem with how we do stuff? Not once have you ever came out here and did no lecture, Supreme Grand Sheik, whoever you are. Not once. But most confusion happens due to dirty Moors. Watch those dirties. Because everybody sold out. The Prophet was surrounded by dirty Moors. Are you not seeing? Like, everybody sold out. That's why we don't know about this. sellouts were running the Moorish Science Temple. Again, like I was saying, because they got caught in the position, that was their judgment for them selling out. Now you got to sit there and play the role. You're not going to be able to floss and do the whatever stuff. You're going to go do like certain Moors, pay for their child's, future, because of finance what they got or whatever, send him the best schools or whatever like that. All the other temple members, they can homeschool. I'm gonna send my child best school out there and make sure he gets scholarships and stuff like that. And all these people know what they did. We're talking the inside ones, not the ones outside. We're gonna leave them alone today. Let's deal with the inside ones. Ones who claim that they're Moors and they're for Moorish Science Temple. They're Moorish Divine National Movement. But they're creating divisions and schisms by artificially injecting that perspective to have people not wanting to unite. Which, them people are pretty close to endgame. Because they're not gonna back off. The only way they back off is when you stop supporting them. Right? Like you hear those people, yeah, the hip hop culture is whatever, and then in your playlist you have the same clowns who messed up all this BS. You listen to their stuff, then what are you complaining about? You're creating your demise. Just like this passive mindset is creating a demise. Now again, opposed to putting your energy toward the ones that are moving in the higher energies, you're going to stand on the sideline and wait to see what do you mean wait to see what? You're more. Like, are you active or passive? Well, I don't know yet. I'm just going to, okay, so then stop talking about your Moors and all that, because you didn't have nothing to do with this. If you don't even know if you're active or passive, you're just a Negro on the sidelines. The false claim that Moors should not vote in the national elections qualified under the Constitution, being the sanctioned Republican form of government, and of course the Moors' proper person status. The false claim that Moors are not to be active in civics, the science of government. The false claim made by some Moors, the false claims made by some that Moors are not to study or act upon the national constitution for the governance of the United States Republic North America, and denying the Constitution as being a document that was adopted from ancient Moorish law and prepared for all free national beings. Now let's just look at 4, 5, and 6. Remember, these are Moorish Science Temple of America people that we are talking about. Right, so this is Moorish Science Temple of America, 1928, guys. Fake temples. No such paperwork to file in courts. Straw man to claim. Agree with that. No such thing as that. UCC or naturalization. Yeah, agree with that. Agree with that. Right to travel. What do you mean? Like, why is that something fake? Sovereignty or indigenous status. Why is that? Why isn't Moorish Science Temple of America teaching or exercising that? Remember, we come from Moors who are Moorish Science Temple of America, who they were exercising right to travel in fleets of cars. Fleets with Moorish tags on there. Moorish paperwork in the glove, no getting stopped by any highwayman at all. Plate means no jurisdiction, period. Period. That was just 10 years ago. It was like that in Mecca. That was sovereignty or indigenous status. And remember, the people who were doing that were Moorish Science Temple of America. So these people who are claiming to be Moorish Science Temple of America can't tell me that there's no such thing as right to travel and sovereignty or indigenous status. They can't tell me that there's no such thing as peace and friendship treaty, because Noble Drew Ali gave me a reference point of Yahshua, and that all the sages that he went to told him go study. And he said, you know, I'm going to sit in every hall that every man has sat in so I could learn. Now, peace and friendship treaty, that's history. That's not some sovereign citizen, whatever. That's history. How are people who are claiming to be Moorish Science Temple of America trying to convince you that you shouldn't know about your history? When Noble Drew Ali was a historian. You really have to realize who the real fakers are. Jurisdictional status. What do you mean? What's wrong with jurisdictional status when Noble Drew Ali taught jurisdictional status in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple? That these people say that they rep that. How is it that these people are talking about the fake temples are going to teach you about jurisdictional status? The fake temples. The fake temples. The fake temples teach jurisdictional status. That's the foundation of Noble Drew Ali's teachings by telling you you're not Negro, black, colored. These are the people that are Moorish Science Temple. This is how you know that these people sold out. Because they're telling you straight BS to your face on their website. Point blank, period, they work for the other side. Have to. There's no other way. And it's only because of the work Islam to all the Moors who've been active throughout the years. Even before we were into this, the Moors who were doing this work, laying this foundation that we're on right now. That we're on. They're telling you that the fake temples teach jurisdictional status, when that is the foundation of the Moorish divine and national movement. Mason or Kemetic science teachings. Noble Drew Ali was an Egyptian adept. Isn't Egypt Kemet? So hold on a second. So these people are supposed to be with Noble Drew Ali, right? They're supposed to be down with Noble Drew Ali. But they're telling you that the bootleg temples, the illegitimate temples, teach Kemetic science teachings. This is a Moorish Science Temple of America telling you this. When Noble Drew Ali himself wrote in the Moorish Guide newspaper article that he's the Egyptian adept. Egyptian is Kemet. Are you trying to tell me these aren't the people that killed Noble Drew Ali to be sitting in this seat right now? Are you really going to sit there and not listen to Kudrow, not listen to Ras Mariah Bey, not listen to Annie Edel, not listen to Mario Bey? You're not going to go to MoorishDirectory.com? Moorish American 720? House of Tunes? No, nothing? Oh, but you're going to go to these Moorish Science Temple of America guys who claim to be the official, and they're from the line of Emiliel and all that. They're from the line of Emiliel and all that. But they're telling you that the fake temples teach Kemetic science teachings, but the founder of Moorish science teachings was an Egyptian adept. You must be a dumbass if you think that you're whoever that you're bringing here is on some higher spiritual authority than what Temple 5 has. You're insane and out of your mind, and we're glad that you left. Don't come back ever. Stay with whoever you're with. Because these people are supremely violating Noble Drew Ali and his teachings. Supremely violating. They got some nerve to denationalize Dr. York L. You're going to denationalize them? You're supposed to be nationalizing Negro black color people. Dr. York's not no Negro black color. He's more. What you mean, Dr. York? What you mean? And on top of that, knowing the BS that he got himself into or whatever, you're going to put him next to CM Bay? Now you're saying that CM Bay is against something? Now, okay, so now the fake temples teach about CM Bay now? Wow. These are the legitimate peoples. Oh, forgot. The fake bootleg temples teach masonry? What? So you're saying that all the research that I did, that I got through my master teacher of masonry, Abdullah El Talib Mozi Bey, that all that stuff is wrong? Like all that stuff that I researched that led me back to show that masonry is ours. Masonry is not some European whatever. Whether you're talking about building or whether you're talking about lodges or whatever. None of that's some European stuff. And I'm supposed to go with this guy because he's a supreme grand whatever. I'm supposed to go with him saying that zodiac or astrology teachings is by the fake people. Insane. Insane. The level of fraud. The level of fraud is so crazy. And they're just down with it. Like, and they're just down with it. If you don't like the truth, beware of this book. CMB, Clock of Destiny 2. That's why they hate him. That's why they hate him. That's why they hate him. Because they know what it is that he did. And they're mad that it wasn't them that did it. So they hate him. They hate him so much. Look at the BS they're talking about him. Fake temples teaches his works. Like CMB was the more. Like that was the more. That was the more of our time. Like when you look back or whatever, and then they talk about certain Moors in some high position and they have their own section in the encyclopedia and stuff like that. Okay. For Moors, that's CMB. He's one of them Moors. Because while all this same sellout stuff was going on, CMB was protecting you. CMB was protecting everything that was left because he took everything that was Noble Jwali and put it under the Great Seal. Another reason why they hate him. Because they knew that they couldn't touch him after he did that because, quote unquote, jurisdictional status. You're not Clock of Destiny, so FOH. Yeah, more Science Temple. Yeah. I'm also a master astrologer. And he freed the seals. Now these people are telling you they're telling you that they're the legitimate whatever. Right? No sovereign or indigenous status. That straight means that they're skipping over chapter 47. How are you going to skip over the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America? It's a shame what these people are up to. Know what I mean? All these Supreme Grand whoever's got a birthday. What do you mean you're dissing the Zodiac? You're a jackass? You got a birthday, bro. The hell are you talking about? Zodiac is negative teachings. You have a goddamn birthday. That's Zodiac. You guys stupid? Or are you just straight sellouts? But again, handful saved. Handful saved. Fingers left over. And all that. Don't worry, just get them, chat muftis. You just get them. You don't worry, you do your thing. You could watch the replay. Get those dirties. No chance that you're getting away when active Moors are around here tripping. The false claim made by some Moors that Moors are not part and parcel of this said government, the principal contract for governance of the organic United States Republic of North America. 7. The present lack of refined civic instructions within some of the temples, and a lack of teachings about the social and political effects concerning the legal status, truths about the theft and the suppression of the Moorish nationality and birthrights issues, i.e. international law and the subsequent affairs of men. Again, the present lack of refined civic instructions within some of the temples and a lack of teachings about the social and political effects concerning the legal status truths about the theft and the suppression of the Moorish nationality and birthrights issues. Yeah, they recruit some of the dumbest agents out here. Brother Yusuf, I might go on that thing, Brother Navi. So if you want to call, feel free. Like, watch for these ones. They're making the claims that they are. They're making the claims that they are the official. They're so official, then how come they're saying no to things that are relative to Moorish nationality and birthrights? You know what I mean? And then they got the, right, and then right here, they got doo-doo that they threw because it's dirty. But if you picked up the doo-doo to throw the doo-doo, then you're really the dirty one. Picking up doo-doo to throw it on stuff. Watch them. They're claiming that they are legitimate. They're claiming that they're from the actual line that Noble Drew Ali left in charge after he left and all that. But they're talking against things that are about your nationality and birthrights. And you think that there's no sellout? And then you're looking at active Moors like, well, I don't know, because they said that those Moors always get arrested. So I don't want to be with those Moors. So I'll just go to that temple with them. What do you mean? How are you going to go with them? They're saying that they're against nationality and birthrights. And they're not just against some, low-level nationality. They're against the integral things that make this different than anything else that you've ever belonged to, ever. They're removing the teachings that will prove that this was sent to save you and keep you passive. These Moors were in our temple as bays, left our temple, and these aren't the 5,000 Moors. These are different Moors. These aren't the Moors who we did the tribunal and all that. These are a different branch of Moors now. But remember, those Moors are USAR Moors. That's the faction that they said they're gonna ride with. They're gonna ride with the USAR. And then these ones now are riding with MSTA, the official, under the Supreme Grand Sheik of the whatever. But they were with us though. And we made them, taught them everything that they know. Witnessed their writs when they were gonna try claim houses and all that stuff. Of course it failed. Just like we told them that it would. That's why you reserve your rights when you do contracts. Doesn't matter who the hell you're doing with, because there's dirty Moors out here. That's why no contract with no more, not reserve your rights. Because you, oh, that's my brother. Tripping. Dirties out here. People that flip on you tomorrow. You don't even know who the hell you were just dealing with. Watch them. The lack of recorded documents and the lawful accountability to the Moorish Americans concerning the collection of and accountability to the people for the proper dispensation and spending of the people's collected finances, in brackets, dues. So that's the stuff that they're going to bring up. Well, where did the finance go? Where's the finance? You're paying $25 a month dues, first of all. The people who you're with now are telling you $63 a month dues. Well, I don't get why you're questioning us about our collection of finances, in brackets, dues, when you left us that was telling you 25 notes and we're not even on you about it if you don't pay it or whatever, to somebody telling you 63 notes for your membership or your monthly dues. You're not going to question that. Well, you're going to question our 25 notes that we're saying. And on top of that, we have a temple. We got books on the shelf. We got DVDs on the shelf. We got products in there. You're going to ask where the funds going? The hell you mean, where's it going? Like, can't you see around you that there's stuff? Can't you see that you're in a building? Can't you see that there's a floor? Can't you see that there's shelves and stuff like that? Like, what do you mean, where's the finance going? The fact that the question comes up shows negligence. And that really, your eye too blow or big. Because you're the people who just want to see stuff. You don't want to do nothing with it. You don't want to get your hands dirty. You don't want to be the one sweating buckets while you're fixing the rail to go down into the basement. But you want to know where some finance went. There's Moors in the temple that when they eat, if they drop a rice grain, they're picking it up. There's Moors in the temple that they can't pass something wrong and not try to fix it or whatever. There's Moors in our temple that have their own personal artifacts from their house that they brought to the temple. Tell me that we're not around some honorable Moors or whatever? We're the illegitimate, when the fact remains that the only ones that I rep are the ones that looked out for Canaanland Moors. The ones that when we called them up and said, hey, we're having this thing called Noble Drew Ali Day. You know, can you do a Skype with us or whatever? Or could we bring you here to do a lecture? Or and again, you know, some people, their eyes are big. Their eyes are so big that, you know what I mean, they would see us do a Noble Drew Ali Day and they would see so many people there and they'll see vendors vending and, you know what I mean, people making finance. So they'll say, okay, yeah, next year I'm going to go and get my table and I'm going to vend too or whatever. And then they're going to vend. And then just because they came with the messed up energy, the stuff doesn't go how it was. They don't sell nothing. And then they're mad. And then they're feeling like nobody's not supporting them and hitting on them. Not. It's because your eye was too big. You think we're making some millions or whatever because we do a Noble Drew Ali Day? Half the time we're breaking even. Ain't nobody taking home nothing other than food. That's all we get for our pay, food. Because we stay breaking even. No finance like that. What do you think this is? We're not no 501c3 and go get grants and all that stuff. That's not how we operate. We never operate like that. Even when we're black, we didn't operate like that. We're independent. We're supposed to fend for ourselves. We start fending for ourselves and then you got issues. Do we fend for ourselves? Can't have issues. How about help us fend for ourselves? You're going halfway across the country to go talk to some Moors who we already know is dirty. So we've been told you all the dirty Moors are. And then you're going to not hear what we're saying. Go to the dirty Moors. And then try to make it seem like you know somebody. You don't know somebody. You know dirty Moors. We already told y'all that we're around the Moors that you want to know if you want to know about Moors. We know those Moors. And we ride with those Moors. And again, those Moors are few. Few. You think there's all these Moors out here you want to learn from? Hell no. There's probably about 8 Moors you want to learn from. Other than them, you're on your own. Learning from somebody. Because everybody's jacking this and using it to try to be somebody. Charge you nuts for all type of madness. And then Moor Science Temple of America sit back and just let people do certain stuff under the name. It is absolutely treasonous what these people are doing. Treasonous. Under the name of Noble Drew Ali, under the name of Moorish Divine National Movement, under the name of Moorish Science Temple of America, under the fez, under the turban, under the Moroccan flag, under the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple. Supreme treason these people have been dealing with. Like, I'm baffled. And it was the individual who called me too, because like we don't build like that. But it came to Mars and only person to call is Cujo, because he's been talking about Mars out here. You just call him. Yo, man, you go into the whatever? Go into the what? The lecture. The Supreme whoever is Supreme whoever. What do you mean Supreme whoever's here? Supreme whoever never called me, tell me that they're coming here. But it's amazing that Moors who I don't even know, like I know Supreme Grand Sheik guy. I know him. Definitely do not see eye to eye, but I know him. He knows me. He's heard about me. My name has gone in one ear. It might have went out the one ear, but it went in one ear. Canaanland Moors went in his ear, for sure. And then they're setting up to be here, and they don't even call the temple here, regardless of what. That's how you know these people are fraudulent. Because there's no individual that was interested in Moors that were not from this immediate jurisdiction that arrived here and didn't reach out. Because they rep for some noble Juali. It didn't matter what temple they belonged to. It didn't matter. It didn't matter whatever. What they say? I'm Bey, El, Ali, whatever. I was in town and I said, since I'm here, let me just call the Grand Sheik of this temple. Just so I could say that I was here and I at least attempted to get to, and 100%, maybe 99%. I think one individual, we didn't get their message. But everybody else, personal. So people can't have any negative things to say with regard to our temple and how we do things. The only issue they have is that they're on the passive side. They're on the side that doesn't want to deal with what this is about. They're on the side that wants to play this club game with this. That automatically, the fact that there's 5 temple number ones or whatever, you should already be looking at all of them as BS. I don't care what line or whatever they come from. If there's 5 claiming that they're number 1, then you already know that all these guys are in on it. It's real simple. If there's 5 people claiming to be number 1, obviously all of them are in on it. Because there should be, even if there's people claiming power positions, there should be a hierarchical rank based on something that, okay, well, these guys are actually number 1 because they whatever. And these guys number 2 because of whatever. These guys 3, those guys are 4. You can't have everybody saying they're number 1 and then everybody's just saying, well, nah, he's not number 1. We're number 1. Well, then those guys say, well, no, don't listen to them. We're the official number 1. Go on our website. It says official right there. All these people are playing the audio stuff. Because this is your birthright. It's your right at birth. But only if you want it, though. Only if you want it. And these people, these Moorish Science Temple of America that claim to be the legitimate and all that stuff, and they start talking about, oh, no such paperwork and straw man and UCC or whatever, they're never specific with that because they're always talking about active Moors when they talk like that. They're not talking about the fakers who are out here actually selling people packages or whatever. They're not talking about them. They're talking about active Moors. When you hear Moorish Science Temple of Americas talk like, oh, see the Moors, when they talk about straw man, when they talk about sovereignty, and when they talk about jurisdiction and masonry, and they talk about CMB, oh, then they say those Moors are fake. The Moors who are talking like that, the Moors who are going down that road are talking about active Moors. They're not talking about the actual bullshit artists out here that get dumb people, right? For example, right? I self-law master. I self-law master, right? No fezzes anywhere, no turbans, no nothing, but they definitely got the remedy. They got the remedy. Travelers packs, nationality packs, credit packs. Every type of package you could get. You could even design your own coat of arms. Custom coat of arms. So your coat of arms could be legitimate because they're custom. Right? But I know who's she? Well, what she got to do with all this private stuff, but they're in the public. They got websites. They got everything to do with public, but they're doing private stuff. Planning courses and all that. These people are just like the same people who brought you The Secret and played you with that. Have you thinking the one universal law is the all of laws, like a dumbass. Made these people gazillions, and you're sitting there still with nothing. All that goddamn freaking putting stuff on boards. Try to manifest something. When really it's the will that's going to make the thing manifest or not. It's your pure intentions that's going to make the thing manifest or not. Not how good is the picture of the house you want. How good is your will and intentions is what's going to make whatever you're looking at manifesting with the vision board manifest. Selling you out just because they know that you're dumb. Not all Moors are dumb. There's Moors out here who are secure with their nationality and their birthrights. Very secure. Playing around. These Moors are going nuts. There's a lot more. Remember, still going back to the same MST of A BS, this club stuff that these people are playing with people's birthright. Like Morris said, these boys got the birthright free, then they go in the corner and they're selling you birthright. They got the gum for 25 cents. They're trying to get you for $1 to buy the gum that you could go get for 25 cents. And you playing these guys to get $1 gum. You dumb? Or you dumb for the gum? Dumb for the gum. There's a lot more. I have been made to feel crazy. That's why the prophet said, study, study, study. Otherwise, you will find yourself down the rabbit hole. Why are so-called declared Moors telling me that I don't have a real business because I have not set up an EIN number with the IRS for my business? Why? Because they work for the IRS. That's why. Because if they're going to tell you, you need to deal with the IRS when you're in your own land, and IRS is not even part of United States, they're not even part and partial TIAL to the IRS. They're telling you allegiance to that. Check that. They're not even part and partial. Forget the parcel. They're not even part and partial of the IRS. That's how much they're violating. They're even violating the BS that they made up to make you think that this is BS. They're even violating that. Because the least they could do is be part and partial of the United States government and the Constitution and all that stuff, which has nothing to do with IRS. Only Congress shall lay and collect taxes if they were constitutional Moors, as they are presenting to be, because they got fezzes, which is national headdress, turban. They got national flag. They got national anthem, quote unquote prayer. They're playing around like there's some group. EIN number of the IRS in order for you to have a business as a Moor. What? So you're not crazy, sis. Trust me, you're not crazy. If they told you that and you stopped and you said, what? If you said what, then pretty much they're probably running some type of club or whatever. And you might not want to affiliate or associate. Because the club Moors are the worst. Club Moors are the worst. Right? If they're telling you, go to the IRS. They're telling you, go to the IRS. They're telling you, go to the IRS. Moors. Moors, huh? Just think about it. Moors telling you, go to the IRS. Because you've been had a business, it's been running proper. You know, I haven't heard no issues with your business. So how all of a sudden you need a middleman in your stuff when your stuff was right? The only way IRS gets in is when they want to cut out of your stuff that they weren't getting, and they're mad because you should be giving them a cut of your stuff. But only if you're their corporation. If you're not their corporation, you're not giving them jack. One, because they're a fraud. And two, because they're a fraud. Why should you give them anything of yours? And you're Aboriginal and Indigenous to the land. They should be paying you. But those Moors won't go there. Those Moors are going to play. Go back to Rome. In Rome, do as the Romans do. Not really. Not really. The only way you do as the Romans do in Rome is if it's under threat, duress, coercion, and reservation of all your rights. Which means you would have to be in propria persona to even do that. All right? And what Moors could do their research on is look up commerce, look up exchange, look up goods, look up production, look up property, and look up intercourse. So you have a perspective. There's no way for you to have a quote unquote real business until you set up your EIN number. And more is telling you that. And you've been running your business. Without them, all of a sudden, you need them. All of a sudden, you need them. Because you can't handle your own affairs. So you need them. Watch out for them, Moors. Moors out here will put you right back in slavery. Right back in slavery, they'll put you. And unfortunately, it'll be your fault. Because you got off the path. You got off the path. Shouldn't have got off the path, but it's amazing how the fraud is always being injected by someone who looks like you. Always by someone who looks like you, right? Like we said, the people who talk against astrology are jackasses if they have a birthday. They are a jackass. How are you against astrology when you have a birthday? I don't care if you celebrate it or not. There's a day that you came here. That's the day of your birth. That's astrological. That's not you came out of a womb and that's it. That's astrological. you people must be sent, because you can't be that stupid. There's no way that you're that stupid. It is wow. I have had Morse tell me about authenticating the birth certificate. And again, when we were around 08, 09, 2010, there was maybe 2 people, maybe 3, pushing some authenticate something. Maybe 3. Maybe. See how much people come up today when you pull that up. That lets you know that lucrative business. So the market got flooded. When markets flood, then, you know, everybody's caking. Not just one guy caking now. Everybody's caking when they flood the market, because the business is that good. Why? Because the people are ignorant, because they don't know the truth about their nationality and birthrights. So they're easy to get played. But again, just like yourself, more handful saved with fingers left over. Somebody tell you about authentic birth certificates that, what? What are you talking about, man? I think it's tripping about. You talk about enhanced license with passport for travel overseas with B&L on it. What? What are you talking about, man? Y'all niggas tripping. How about, man? Also, getting food stamps and medical coverage from the Social Services Department. Well, this one, you know, you might break your leg, and you don't want to go to the dude down the block to get him to put the cast on your foot and all that stuff. Probably want to go to a professional. So, reservation of rights, and go get the free whatever. If you're a Moor and you're back against the wall and you got to get food stamps, personally, I would get the food stamps, personally, if it's like that. Because, I mean, if I'm going to give them, I reserve my rights as my signature and get some, so that way I could have a little something till I get myself back in my place, then I could cut myself off of that. Hey, that's what that's for. Once you're going to cut yourself off after, just be a leech, just leeching it, then no, can't do that. But, you know, if you really need to, you really need that medical coverage, because these people are saying, you know, well, you know, Band-Aid 500. Well, might want to get the stuff, all rights reserved, get the free stuff. Because you're doing it under threat, duress, and coercion. You're doing it out of bare or dire necessity. You're not doing it because you want to. You're doing it because you're coerced to do this. So you reserve your rights. If it's under threat, duress, coercion, prejudice, racism, whatever you want to say, whatever term they want to use, whatever, all rights reserved. That's why, or that's how you maintain the national Aboriginal status, because you have rights that are reserved. One of those rights to a nationality, so that you can pull that out anytime as soon as they try to violate you using that stuff that you signed. Produce the original contract. If they have the original contract, it'll show your rights reserved on there. And then the next question is, well, what rights do you reserve? Then you reserve the right to your nationality. You reserve the right to anything that they're trying to say that you violate. Because the contract right there says reserve rights, rights, plural. So if all rights are reserved, what are those rights? And then that right is going to prove jurisdictional status. So these people know they have no jurisdiction. And the only time that doesn't work is when people do nuts ones, like happen to be in the car with the guy with the 50 keys. Then stuff's questionable, because, I mean, you said you broke your leg, but you know what I mean? Like, you're just getting the free medical coverage just because you can, because you're a Moor. That's not what this is for. European knows that. So if it appears like you're trying to get out of something or whatever, they're gonna throw the book at you. Because they're Masons and they know what's up. Don't think that they wouldn't play judge and jury and executioner. Just because, you know, maybe they're honorable. And they're looking at it on a way higher level. Like, what were you even doing with the guy with the keys? You got principles right here. Love, truth, peace, freedom. Where in that is talking about keys in there? That you as a Moor decided to be with the guy with the 50 keys. That's the best thing you do with your time or whatever. So, you know, getting food stamps, medical coverage, rent, discount, whatever. Whatever. You got a right to contract in your own land, especially when it's under occupation. These people can't really lock you out, so they're going to give you some type of loophole. But you already know that if you contract and you go through the loophole, then you're going to be obligated to something else after or whatever. Reserve your rights. Or, you know, you can just sit there and deal with whatever BS it is that you're dealing with and, you know, attempt to, you know, depending on what it is. In most situations, you stand on your birthrights, these people are going to yield. That's just what it is. Their thing is they're going to see how long you're willing to stand. And then most people aren't prepared for that part of the confrontation. So they get outmatched. They couldn't sit on the wall without the chair longer than the other guy. But, you know, just like you're doing certain things, when you get the red flag, you just stop for a sec and really take in what it is going on, you know, so you don't get played or you don't get caught up in some madness that, you know, you shouldn't be caught up in. There's no way that the active Moors and the activity is going to be suppressed. It's over for that. It's time for you Moors either just get out the way or jump on board with what we're doing. Stop playing the BS. Because you can't go from Bay to Ali and think that you're legitimate. It's impossible. Especially knowing that there's no way. And the fact that the Supreme Grand whoever is accepting you as Ali or whatever lets you know that he knows, because he's an addict, he knows that you're on some ego tripping. And he's just gonna feed that ego. He's just gonna feed it and use you and suck you and vampire you. All because you want it to be better than Canaanland Moors. Can't be better than Allah. You can try, but sorry, you can't be better than Allah. And Allah guides the Moorish movement, for what I understand. You know, Grand, whoever guides this, Allah guides this. Allah guides this. Just remember, Allah guides the Moorish movement. Not some Negroes with fezzes on. Allah guides it. The best thing to do is go study, and the energy would lead you to where you're supposed to be. I would like to know how I can become a member of the MSTA, also how to declare my nationality and appellation. Becoming a member of the MSTA, we usually tell people to look them up wherever you're at and go check them. When you go check them, vibes would tell you whether they're worthy to keep going to or yield and go do something else. And go find somewhere else to go study. You know? But we're never of the thing of just don't deal with MSTA. Go check. You know, and depending on where you are, if you ever come on the Canaanland Moors live chat, there's Moors from everywhere in there. And those Moors are open to building and just connecting with Moors. You know, that's just what they do. Right? But yeah, to become a member of MSTA, there's that option. There's also I think Grand Chief Nature's Temple at Moorish guideposts. And those Moors do online they should have an online mailing list. And you also asked about proclaiming. So we'll just click this. So I would say join up to email this on the home, and then they can send you the information with regard to that. And as well, we have honorary membership with our temple that you send you the membership form and you get your confirmation. And you carry on with the works of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. No, we don't play the club. Just like the Moors gave me Grand Sheik and all that and put me through the Arab chamber over a weekend because they know these dirty Moors would have tried to pull some stuff to try to make it seem like, you know, they have some type of authority when they're sellouts because they know people are lacking in this information about Moorish history. It's the same way. This is people's birthright. And we don't play that. We own something of somebody's. This is the people's birthright. And they have a right to this. With declaring your nationality and appellation, study non-European languages, appellations. Do a birth record or a birth chart, natal chart. Do a natal chart and, you know, your qualities will be identified. And those qualities, some of them are the meanings of names or appellations. So you can also do that to try to find the appellation. Right? But you want something that means something to you. You know, just call yourself, you know, Shaka L just because, you know, means something. And also to get the idea of the importance. Do your research on naming ceremonies and see how many of those happen by all these different cultures in the world. Islam family, I recently watched one of your videos talking about the 23 pages used by the temple. I'm an honorary member of your temple and was wondering how do I get those documents. I want to ensure that all my T's are crossed and I's are dotted when it comes to the paper trail of nationality declaration. I also wanted to know if there's a way to get official passport to travel, as all avenues that I have ventured so far have been blocked. I wanted to have the address to the show and show on silver bullion freeholders when it comes to cases, etc. So with regard to the first part, the 23 pages was paperwork that we don't even use anymore because we go with Great Seal, national name correction, and judicial proclamation. So the 23 pages was just a example to show that Moorish Science Temple of America deals with nationality papers, Moral Science Temple of America deals with correcting your status. Moral Science Temple of America is supposed to deal with these things. And we're using that to show that that's the level that it was dealt with when we were brought into Moral Science Temple of America. We've mastered that, and now we have a 6-pager. Right? So don't worry about them 23 pages and thinking you're getting some more knowledge in that than whatever. You could scrap them 23 pages and just go to RV Bay Publications if you want to cross your T's and dot your I's with regard to the paper trail of your nationality declaration. You could do that, and you'll get further than those 23 papers. I'll tell you that. Right? But them papers are, you don't need anything from in there. That's why we transitioned from the 23 to the Judicial Proclamation papers, because that was the better way to go than the 23 papers. Why? Because you're going to have to copy those 23 papers 50 times. Probably get a lot further with 6 opposed to 23. Probably be able to do 200 now because it's 6 instead of 23, which is a benefit to you. With regard to official passport to travel the world, look up passport, look up travel, and recognize what you have if you're claiming that you're a declared Moor. If unfortunately you messed your life up when you were younger and you know the quote-unquote corpse or whatever is not going to give you a passport so you can reserve your rights on it or whatever, then you're going to have to take your chances with your nationality card. If you really want to go travel somewhere and there's no template or there's no whatever, who did it, who didn't do it, doesn't matter. Whoever did it, they did it. They didn't do it, and you're going to go do it because they did it. They did it because they had to do it, and it went however it went. Whether it was successful, negative, I know that it's been done. And I know that it's been done and people got stopped too. That's just what it is. And again, like right to travel or whatever, showing your nationality card doesn't mean you're active. That's not the prerequisite for activity. Uplifting fallen humanity is a prerequisite for activity. Not show a card and be able to get on a plane, fly somewhere. Moors. So you do will that you're clear, because I can't stand sellouts, because they're the downfall of everything that we tried to do. Even when we were black, it was because of sellouts why the stuff didn't succeed more than the fact that we're saying black. These people have to be in there trying to mess stuff up all the time. That's just what they do. But it's all good because we already know only a handful is going to be saved, so we're not even sweating it. Not even sweating it. And just because the Moor said super Moor in the chat, just because the Moor said super Moor in the chat, we'll close out with that. Islam Moors, peace and love to all the Moors worldwide. You already know it's all love always. Never hatred. We got principles that we live by. All the dirty Moors, FOH. And don't forget to like, and thumbs up. Do all that stuff right there so that we can keep getting this word out that we've been getting out. Islam to all the Moors, worldwide. All the Moors, wherever they're at. Peace and love to you. Islam to all the ancestors. And also, supreme honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali for bringing us what we got right now. Peace and love, Moors. Watch out for the dirties. As I jump off my mind's cliff into subconscious depths, knowing my higher and knowing my lower self, falling past my thoughts that got me in trouble. Realizing ego is a burstable bubble. Falling backwards seems like there's no end or bottom. Cut out the good. I see no thoughts rotten. No modern European's mentality, all Asiatic. The scent of this fall, aromatic. Tea tree oil and frankincense so intense. Demons beaten from outside make no indents. Plus no entrance without the mastermind key. Thoughts of Allah wasn't Allah, but actually me, divine being, a national, actual, factual, more a scientist, seeing things mathematical. Law is length, angle, and width. With mind strength, mangle a sith. When devils was burning, sulfur I whiff. Lower self, third eyes crushed, that's the weed in my split. From these lows, the only way to uplift. 40 days and 40 nights working the graveyard shift. Battling zombies, which are my own that exist. Playing my emotions as string strum or Congo drums. Seeing things and hearing sounds, no fear around. Looking down, not seeing the ground, or feeling my crown. While Satan so profound, soul unbound. Inhale for 7, hold for 4. Exhale for 7, hold for 4. Double door 11, walk through the gateway frame of eternal flames. No burns, no regard, unreal as unreal, no blame. My pure freedom and bliss, demigod trying to contain. On my journey of learning fear, embracing pain. Since love heals on the path of living cognizance, patience is a virtue. I'd rather take the long distance. Aware mental clearness, mind's tailless with fierceness. Harlots seduced to get me locks and beardless. Electromagnetic helix, induce the voltage. Begging ancestors to increase the dosage. Produce a strong field, rubbing together shaman stone balls, releasing the stress. Calling Orishas, decreasing my breath. But are you really breathing? Knowing or believing? I master fruition and receiving from birthright retrieving. Are you in trance without doing a ritual dance? Paralysis, magic, reversal on the square stance. Harmonic lyrical mudra from Islam Sutra. Elevate thoughts, wake up your inner symbols and Buddhas. Master your will, not desires. Awaken Kundalini fires. Truth spoken to MCs higher. Medusa, you liars. Bagging heads and horns and tails for mystic functions. Ritualistic. Perched at the junction where demons go to and fro, dressed as the sheeple, selling them rights, civil and pseudo rights equal. Blood flowing past a horse brow, didn't circle your passion. Celestial thread of my ancestors, tailored my fashions. Fooling people with their words and people not watching their actions. Ignorance of law is no excuse when something happens. Feeling eyes and reading postures, moving bionic. Monsanto seeds, turn you psychopharmaceutical chronic. Got their eyes bloody, blood money for blood money. They gave me nothing, so can take nothing from me. I love the quote, you will respect but don't have to love me. They gave me nothing, so can take nothing from me.
afraid to pursue their most important dreams because they feel that they don't deserve them or that they'll be unable to achieve them. We, their hearts, become fearful just thinking of loved ones who go away forever, or of moments that could have been good but weren't, or of treasures that might have been found but were forever hidden in the sand.
30 more say the prophet's name won't teach the same universal lessons, keep you slave chains on your brain. Wanting Moorish presidents when that's the prophet. If he was around, most grand chiefs' heads he'll off it. Guilty by association, off your head too for riding with dirty Moors that made a mockery of Drew Ali. Dirty Moors from Canaanland to Cali, use PPL, now they claim Ali. Keep thinking that they for you, but get ignored. Giving lessons in pieces like a jigsaw, leave you puzzled. Your third eye muzzled, mind smuggled. Know how to say the right thing, keep lies subtle. Really win with truth bait, lying eyes and truth face. Ego Moors make you carry their suitcase or hold their umbrella. He walks like a fruitcake, prophet watching from the soul plane. The route you take, whose prince will you step in? Demons or genuines, MSTA members or Moorish Americans?
Go ahead, what's coming for me? Go ahead, what's coming for me? Go ahead, what's coming for me? Go ahead, what's coming for me?
90 plus years running a fraud, that's why you know every prophet and Ali but not Drew. Keeping you away, they have a deep, dirty more crew, causing confusion. This dirty more crew will tell you partial to have chains on your brain when it should be parcel, a free national name. Drew Ali got revenge by Moore's eyes wide open, not Morisco world eyes wide open. For her can make those lips clap, using Frank Gary, brother Larry, journalist traps. Homoerotic, stray cat Moors dissing the mothers, putting blame on active Moors for current gains and others. Fake prophets, heads on the coin, and pictures next to the noble. Today the treasury balance is zero, the total.
Go ahead, what's coming for me? Go ahead, what's coming for me? Go ahead, what's coming for me? Go ahead, what's coming for me?
Study. When you're finished, study yourself. Dirty Moors judge your attire and judge your bookshelf. Study. When you're finished, study the law. When you study no trance by Moorish hymn composers. Study. When you're finished, study the higher. Dirty Moors cook out that smell from Oscar Mayer. Study. When you're finished, it's never finished. Dirty Moors selling status correction clinics. 500 per class pass. I'd rather watch Taj and have a clear perspective on the Moorish path. Faculty and student, Moorish heritage history school. Don't endanger your life with a fool.
And I know what time it is.
Yo, me too, bro. Yeah. Iron. Shit. Moorish Master MC. Hey, yo. What up? Y'all already know. Audio mechanics, what up? Yo, no need for a swatch watch. I read the time in the signs like prophets and seers. Put a hex on the beers. Put some wicker on Leopold and Mussolini offspring. To the ancestors, to their blood as my offering. Oshuno Lapunia, may I show me reflections in water like balls of crystal, walls of Venus missiles. Sun gaze and see gods keeping from behind. I'm learning to love instead of hate and be kind, cause yes, I know. I'm thinking it's time for the wake up. Good morning as I'm yawning. Check my phone, it's only 2 a.m. Thoughts bubble like a cauldron. Feeling the tonin drip from my pineal gland. Activating my mitochondrial DNA strands. Stimulating my chakras like a camera captures. I did foresee the rapture. Stones falling in Turkey like rain from the sky. My farmer shoveling thousands of bees that died from radioactive waves from cell phone towers. As niggas babble and debate falsehood for hours. No PhD, but they call themselves doctors. We living in the time of false prophets. When we hear them speak, got the feeling awkward. It's like they speak a language I don't understand or talk with. Their tongues fork like utensils, and they stay playing with your mental.
I know what time